What's up, everybody? Hey. So, this is my second time doing this video because the first time I just didn't like it. So, I'm going to try it again here. You are about to hear the story of, can you guess? Yes. Finally, you're going to get to hear the story of Hercules, and I circled these two. You have Hercules, the Disney character, and you have Hercules in an ancient Greek painting, which looks kind of cool. That was probably the least barbaric painting of all the ones that I could find on the internet. Totally awesome. I can't wait for you to hear it. Remember, your learning target for these lessons is to retell key facts and details from what was read aloud. You have some vocabulary words here. The first word is dreadful. Dreadful means terrible or extremely unpleasant, and the example is, "This weather is dreadful for driving," Peter exclaimed as the heavy snow fell on the windshield. The next word is commotion. Commotion means a noisy confusion or fuss. For example, there was quite a commotion on the playground at recess as the students ran around having fun. You can see all the students right here running around having fun. And what's next, you ask? This is your hardest word for this lesson. The word is aimlessly. Aimlessly means without purpose or plan. For example, the prince wandered aimlessly for several years until Rapunzel found him. You can see the little boy is lost in the shopping mall, or the man's looking at the map. But it doesn't just mean lost. It doesn't mean lost. It means that you're going without a direction. You don't know where you're going. So let's start a story, and I am on the second page because I restarted my story. "It's Hercules!" a boy shouted. His father stopped in the middle of plowing the field and ran to get his son. The boy's mother, terrified at the sight of this large man, stopped all of her work in the field and dashed to join the rest of the family. They all rushed into their farmhouse and slammed the door. This huge, muscular man who had caused all of the commotion sighed and continued walking past the farm in long, powerful strides. He was used to this sort of thing, although he had remembered a time when his appearance had been a welcome cause for joyous celebration. This man was Hercules, the mightiest of heroes and son of Zeus. As a baby, he once subdued or calmed 2 snakes that someone put in his crib. Such was his strength. He could carve a new channel in the ground to change the direction of a river, or wrestle to defeat fierce beasts or monsters to save people in trouble. There was only one thing that Hercules could not defeat. It was himself. That was why everyone now feared him. You see, Hercules had a temper as powerful as his muscles. When he became angry, he would strike out against whatever or whomever had angered him. Then he would feel terrible, thinking, "I told myself not to let that happen again," but it was always too late for whomever he had hurt. At last, other Greeks told Hercules, "You have done many great things for us, but now you are a threat to our safety. You may no longer live among us. Furthermore, anyone sheltering you or feeding you or even speaking with you will also be forced out." So Hercules, once the most beloved and admired person in the land, was forced to wander friendless and alone. After a while, he no longer cared about his appearance. His hair and beard grew long and shaggy. His clothing became torn, and if no one else cared, why should he? Food was not a problem, for he was a great hunter, and he no longer took pleasure in a hearty meal. He ate just to survive. After 3 long years, Hercules, who had the strength and courage of a lion, wandered aimlessly. If he stumbled into a place where some dreadful danger threatened the people, he would take care of the problem on his own, although no one had asked him to do so or thanked him at the end. He would continue on his way. One day, he sat on a hillside with his back against a tree trunk. Hercules noticed a line of horsemen riding into sight. The road passed by the foot of his hill, so they came closer. Then, to Hercules' shock, the lead rider held up his hand, "Halt!" to the others. Turning his horse, started up the hill straight towards Hercules. As the rider came closer and closer, Hercules rose to his feet in surprise and alarm. He thought, "Doesn't he know what will happen to him if he approaches me?" The huge man began to wave his arms and shout, "Go back! Go back!" Still the horseman rode straight to him. Now Hercules could see the rider's face, and his concern became even greater, for the horseman was none other than the great Grecian hero, Theseus, king of Athens. The two men had become loyal friends ever since Hercules had rescued Theseus from the underworld. Now, as Theseus continued toward him, Hercules shouted, "Go back!" But Theseus rode straight up to Hercules and dismounted. Then he took Hercules' huge hand between his. "I have been looking for you, my friend," Theseus said, and despite everything, in that moment Hercules felt a faint ray of hope. Theseus went on, "I know that you did not do those dreadful things on purpose. Come with me to Athens, where the people care more for true justice." By helping Hercules, Theseus was risking his crown and his entire way of life. Fortunately, the Athenians so completely trusted his wisdom and honor that they then welcomed Hercules among them. Still, the huge man felt sad for what he had done. Theseus told him, "You will never be free from your past until you have worked away your guilt and mastered your temper and your great strength. Go ask Apollo, the god of wisdom and truth, how to do these things. And remember always, you have a friend who believes in you." "Thank you," replied Hercules. "You have taught me that there are more kinds of courage than I ever knew. One must be brave to face a monster, but braver still to do what is right when all odds are against you." So Hercules set out once more, never guessing that his most remarkable adventures and his greatest glory lay before him. All right, that is part 1 of The Legend of Hercules. I wish I was as strong as Hercules. Anyhow, we're going to pick this up in our next lesson, part 2, and see how Hercules solves his problem. See ya!